All right, we are live. Seena is talking to Seena. I'm wearing a mask because I'm actually inside of my bank right now, waiting to take care of some stuff. But Seena, go ahead and like introduce yourself, kind of give yourself your background and everything.
Hey, I'm Seena Partokia. I'm an electrical engineer working in the startup semiconductor industry for the past 11 years now. And I've been also investing in real estate and general stocks and
Is,
cryptocurrency.
is is that like a Seena thing? If you're in Seena, you have to invest in real estate and you have to have some crypto.
I guess you have to. All Seenas
So
do.
yeah, so just two questions I'm going to ask, and you can obviously split it up. But first time, you like just tell me about your first real estate transaction, your first stock transaction, and your first
Yeah.
crypto. So three. Go
Yeah,
for it.
so the first crypto was interesting. It was actually when I was at in college. Um, some of the people in my research group gave me the miners for Bitcoin at the time, and at the time Bitcoin was like 25 cents a Bitcoin. And they just gave me the miners, and there were guys who worked at the same research lab that I worked at, and they're like, here you go. You'll make your lunch money off this since you're a poor old student. So I was mining Bitcoin back in 2008, 2009, 2010. Um,
Yeah, it was created in 2009, so I was going to be like, I don't think so in
yeah,
2008. But
somewhere around
that's
there.
crazy that you that's crazy that you're probably the only person I know to be able to get into crypto that early. Like most people I know got
Well,
in maybe after 2011. So that's
bad thing
crazy that
is, the bad thing is I didn't keep any of it at the time. I was like, oh, this is just a bullshit thing and it's not gonna stick around. And like I would sell it weekly. I would mine all week. And at the time, it was so easy to mine. You would mine hundreds of them. And I would mine every week and I would sell it. This is like they gave me all of the Bitcoins they mined and like when Coinbase first started, I was just like so excited because I could sell this stuff, sell all the Bitcoin that was mine, and I barely remember all this, but I remember having a conversation with my brother. He studied business at Cal State Fullerton. It was like, oh yeah, Bitcoin. It sounds like a pyramid scheme. Now we
that's
know
what
it's
you
far
hear
from.
all the time.
So yeah. And I would sell it, maybe 100, 200 bucks a week. Literally lunch money, dude. That was my lunch money in college. I wish I held on to more of it, but
All
oh
right,
well.
so that's the first piece of advice we need to pass to your audience. You get yourself some Bitcoin, you hodl. Don't sell it, man.
I
It's
guess
it's
I
never
guess
worth it.
general advice is hoard everything. Don't ever sell.
No, no, but I mean, you could have done Beanie Babies. You could have done Pokemon cards. I guess Pokemon cards are actually doing that well now, right? You can invest on that stuff.
Yeah, I never got into that one, but tell you what, if I held on to all that Bitcoin, I would have been retired right now. Probably would
Yeah,
have
that's
been retired, but
so. What's your current crypto strategy? What coins are you
Ethereum
investing?
2.0, Ethereum 2.0. I'm actually getting ready to put up solar panels at my house in San Diego, turning my garage into Ethereum 2.0 mining station.
Wow, that is awesome. So
Yeah,
you're not looking to buy, you're looking to just mine and create your own crypto, correct? Or
yeah,
earn
just mine it and hoard it.
that's really, really smart.
And
Yep.
I'm 100% out of Bitcoin. And 100% into Ethereum right now. And
Oh shoot. Okay. I'm the opposite. Well, I'm not the opposite. So I'm hedged. Depending on how the prices go up and down, I'm pretty close to 50-50. But if I look at my portfolio, it's probably like 90% Bitcoin and Ethereum and then 10% just random altcoins. But yeah, like
the funny
I think
thing is, like, I started this whole thing when cryptocurrencies were first getting used, and I was like, I know how to set up like the ASIC chips I know how the ASIC chips in a miner for Bitcoin works, how it actually mines. I know the whole system really well because I was in
So
it
in the
since the
future,
beginning.
I need to create some content with you in the future. I would love to, once you got it all set up, I would love to like shoot and kind of see like all
Yeah.
the tech, because you are one of my friends that is obviously the most knowledgeable when it comes to this, and it makes sense you're an engineer. But yeah, no, that's really really cool because I
Yeah.
obviously have real estate. I have solar panels, but I'm just renting right now. And if in the
So,
future I
so
get,
one thing I'm doing that's different than everyone else is my solar panels are going directly to a battery. I'm going directly from the battery to my miners. So if my solar panels don't generate enough electricity for my miners to run, I'm going to shut off the miners. So they only work when I get enough electricity from my solar.
wow, so it's basically using the sun to make you Bitcoin.
Yeah. And I'm buying the solar panels, I'm not financing them, I'm not, connecting them to the grid. I'm doing it all myself, all directly for the miners. I'm not going to use it for electricity in the house. It's not even worth it for me to do that. I'm primarily just using it to mine.
So let me ask you this. This is a good topic to bring up, and I can ask you because you're so diversified. You obviously own stocks, you own real estate, you own crypto. But for me, I'm kind of getting out, and I shouldn't say this because I'm a real estate broker, but I just see real estate as very inefficient when it comes to refinancing and when it comes to buying and selling because the
Uh,
fees are ridiculous of what you have to pay in real estate, and then the property tax, insurance. You
I
don't
mean,
deal with
real
any of
estate
this
is
when it comes.
just safe. And it's safe because you can go based on the idea that people need a place to live. The
Yeah, but
problem right
you get
now is,
crazy tenants. I mean, remember me? I had crazy crackheads that came into one of my properties, and it took me like 5 months to evict them, get lawyers, all that BS. I
dude,
never
right
get to work
now
in
is
my.
even worse, dude. People live in your property, you can't even kick them out because COVID. And,
Yeah,
if you don't, and that now real estate has turned into this huge bubble, right? People are just buying and
see,
buying, not paying, and there's a bunch of people who are not paying their mortgages, and no one can kick them out. The banks can't kick them out, and the 10-year treasury um, is it's doing horrible, and the whole real estate market shouldn't be doing well because there's all these borrowers who can't pay their mortgage. There's renters who can't pay their rent, and it's just stacking on top of itself. And no one's willing to sell because they don't have to. If you can't afford your house, guess what? You don't have to sell it because you don't have to pay the mortgage, and no one will kick you out. So the bubble just is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And think about it. If you don't pay your mortgage for 10 months, let's say for the sake of this conversation, 1,500 bucks a month, bare minimum, right? Your mortgage is 1,500 bucks a month, 10 months, that's $15,000, right? Someone who can't afford to pay 1,500 a month, how are they all of a sudden going to be able to pay that back when they start making money, $15,000, or even payments on top of the $1,500 a month? So yes, real estate is in a bubble. I think so. It's gonna blow up eventually, right? And right now is
then that's
the
when you
worst
buy.
time to buy.
That's when you buy. You should buy when prices go down
That's when you
30%. When
bought. I remember that.
yeah, I mean, you did the same thing. I mean, when did you buy your first property? What year?
2015. So I was a little bit after.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pop after 2013, but I mean, anyone who did real estate investing from 2010, let's just say, to 2015, you're going to make out like a bandit. But everyone that gets into real estate or is trying to buy real estate after 2016, you're
So
getting at the end of the Ponzi scheme. Go ahead.
that's exactly right. Now I'm gonna ask you the question, Sina. Are you gonna sell your properties right now?
So
Because if you're trading, this is the best time to sell. The prices aren't gonna go any higher. The supply is very low. The demand is very high. People are all staying at their homes because of COVID, and no one's willing to sell because they don't want to deal with moving in the middle of COVID. So technically, right now, if you're selling, this is the best time, the best bang for your buck.
So the problem with selling is, first off, I'm not like you. I don't have a high paying job. My high paying job is my real estate. So if I had a high paying job like you, I could definitely make that move. But second is the property tax, and it's obviously different from states. But I paid dirt bottom prices. I bought in 2010 to 2012. So what I pay in property tax, if I end up selling and then I want to buy again, my property tax is going to triple.
So,
So
so here's the
California,
thing though. If the market is in a bubble and it's going to crash, prices are probably going to come down as low as 2009 or even lower.
but
Even
what if it
lower.
doesn't? What if this, because you saw how the bankers, central bankers, the only thing they can do is inflate assets. So let's just say, I mean, it is a possibility. The crash never comes. They just keep real estate super duper inflated. So that means everyone that buys in is going to have to pay super high property tax and
But
basically
property tax doesn't help the banks, you know. You got to
it
think
helps the
what's right for the
politicians.
banks.
That's why they do it. The reason why it makes sense for politicians to allow inflation to come, because when you inflate assets, you first off you get out of your debt they're creating, but then that means they can create more taxes, right? If your property goes up, they can charge more taxes on that. If your stock goes up and you sell it, they're going to be able to take taxes on that. But if everything crashes, they can't tax it. So they obviously there's crashes, but the easiest way for politicians to get out of this and to profit is to just inflate everything because that means they're going to just get more money in taxes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. The politicians are gonna get more taxes, but at the end of the day, it's all about the banks. To me, it's all about the banks. The market is controlled by the banks and the Fed. And the
Yeah.
Fed is pushing it out. The Fed is saying, you know what, we're not gonna increase interest rates, which means the banks aren't making money. If the banks aren't making money, there's a crash coming soon because that's the only way they're gonna make up for all this loss. They're 30% below um what they made last year, and last year was a horrible year for them. And so, I mean, the numbers just came out today. Powell just said, you know, things aren't looking so good, and
Let's
inflation is
print more
coming.
money.
But
So
the
that's
banks
why
got to make
buying.
money. Bottom line is banks got to make money. And if banks don't make money, you're gonna get a bubble. And I think the bubble is back again in the real estate.
Yeah. So that's why my investment strategy, and maybe you can piggyback this, but for me, I'm not touching real estate unless there's like a 30% correction, 40% correction. Until then, I feel like crypto and stocks is the easiest way to build wealth. And for now, because there's no fees with crypto and stocks,
So,
and
so
especially, go
what do
ahead.
you say today after the Bitcoin and
I
Ethereum?
bought more. I
Uh,
bought I bought more. I took out a margin loan, and if you guys follow me, I'm right now $70,000 of debt. So yeah, I took out. I mean, I was originally like 50,000, and then I took another 20,000 out today. So yeah, I basically owe $70,000 at like 2% interest. But keep bringing the prices down. I'm just gonna keep buying all the assets. I'm definitely not going to go past 25% of my portfolio in margin. So I still have a lot of room. But yeah,
so
I
you got to
think the
be
best thing you can
making
do, huh?
you got to be making more than 2% to make that loan worth it.
You don't think that the market's going to come back? I mean, it already corrected. I mean, when I was buying earlier this morning, it already went back up more than 3%. You don't think Google, like Amazon, Tesla, any of these amazing companies, you don't think they're going to go up more than 2% a year?
I don't know. I think a lot of them are inflated more than they should be. I think a
What
lot of
about
them are
cruise
just,
stocks? What
huh?
what about these other? I mean, there's cruise line stocks, there's airline stock. There's a lot of stuff that's still
So
relatively
airlines is one of those things that I'm just hoarding airline stocks. I've been doing that since January, and
yeah.
and I think airlines are going to be on a rise. Today, airlines were or yesterday, airlines were up.
What about cruise? You don't like cruise? I think cruise is more profitable than airlines. What about cruise? You like cruise or not really?
Not really.
No. Okay,
I I
that's
can't
cool.
I
So
can't relate
airlines.
to
What else? Is there any other stocks you like? So you're bullish on airlines?
I'm all into green energy, renewable energy,
I bought
airlines.
Tesla. I bought Tesla, and then I look at this stock I'm buying a lot of, Enphase Energy. Have you heard of
Enphase. Yeah, I
Enphase?
know Enphase. I know Enphase since 2013, 14, back in the
That's
day.
why I brought you on the show. You literally, it's
Dude,
hilarious, but like
my
everything I've
biggest
talked about,
gain, since you asked me this question earlier, my biggest gain since last year has been plug, plug
Plug
power.
Power.
I
How
bought
did
it
you
less than a
find
dollar.
it? Yeah, how did you find it? Give us your strategy on Plug Power.
I
How did you come
I
into the gold mine?
I was following Walmart and I was following their strategy for automation, and then found out that Walmart is buying hydrogen fuel tanks or hydrogen cells for the lift trucks and all this stuff in their warehouses. Why? Because they want to run as many of these lift trucks and stuff as they can so people don't have to do them by hand. And so I looked more into it. Guess what? They buy all these tanks, fuel cells, all this stuff from Plug. So I was like, sounds like a good idea. I'm a huge fan of hydrogen because at UCSD, I was working on photoelectrochemical cells, which is basically these solar cells that take water and split the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, keep the hydrogen for fuel. And so I've always liked hydrogen as a fuel solution because it's the highest density fuel you can find. And so I just started buying a little, and then it just kept going up. And every time it would go up, I would double what I own it. So I just kept buying more and more when it was dirt cheap, like $3, $5, $10, and then I stopped buying when it was like $15. And I mean, it was up to 70.
Laughing straight to the bank. So you're gonna make a promise to me that you'll come back on this show. The next time you find a good trading strategy, you have to come back on this show and you have to disclose it so we can pump our stocks. You know, whatever your next Plug Power is, let's pump
Well,
it.
the next one, I think the next one is gonna be a hydrogen too. I'm all in on
Any
hydrogen.
stock right now? Any stocks other than Plug Power that that you would be investing right now?
So I'll
Or
tell
you want to wait till you buy more shares and then we'll pump it?
you. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, I'll tell you. So the other one, it's not hydrogen related, but it's Beam Global. The ticker is BEEM, B as in boy, E as in Edward, E as in Edward, M as in Mary, and they're a solar charging station company, based in San Diego. I got a buddy of mine who is a huge believer in them, and he convinced me. And now I'm a big believer in them. Today they're down 10.7%, so it's a good time to buy. I'm heavily in there. I'm going to be buying
All
more.
right. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We're almost at the 20-minute mark. But before we go, I want to ask you a simple question right now. If I gave you $1,000 today and you can't split it up into more than four assets, I'll give you $1,000 right now. Where do you spend your $1,000? What, like, how much do you put into Ethereum? How much do you put into stock?
I would
Give you a
put
thousand bucks.
probably $300 into Ethereum, and the rest I would put between Beam and Plug and
You would buy Plug at these prices right now? So you think there's room to run on Plug?
oh yeah, I think Plug is gonna go for a while. And SunPower actually. That's the other one.
Okay. So then four assets. So 250 Ethereum, 250 Sun, right?
No, I would put 500 into Beam and the rest I would so 250 in Ethereum, 125 in SunPower, 125 in Plug, and 500 in Beam.
All right, so yeah, I will be uploading this on YouTube, YouTube world. This is his recommendation. If he like 5X's and diamond hands, he's a genius. And if it doesn't work out, we'll have to pump some altcoin or figure something else out. But definitely, let me get you back on because out of my other guests, you by far have a lot of knowledge in both cryptocurrency, stocks, investing. And what's crazy, I mean, this podcast is supposed to be buff and rich. You're also super into fitness, but I didn't allow you to talk about fitness this time.
Dude,
So
next time for sure.
okay,
Thanks
so
so
yeah,
much.
next time we'll save some room for fitness. yeah, let's keep this up. And we'll keep talking about our trades, our experience, and we'll both learn from each other, and hopefully the audience can learn as well. So,
All
all
right.
right, man. Thank you very much. I
Okay.
will be uploading you. I'll shoot you a link so you can watch it, and let's do this again soon. Thank you very much.
Later, man.